Mark Edwards. Welcome to Travelogue and welcome to Wuyuan County. A hidden gem buried within Jiangxi province in the middle of China. Over the next half hour, you're going to discover a land that's filled with tiny traditional Chinese villages and blessed with magnificent countryside. Calling all nature lovers, amateur photographers and architectural aficionados. It's time to continue village hopping, food tasting and countryside rambling. If you're going to be honest, it's highly unlikely that you would have heard of the magnificent rural county of Wuyuan, but allow yourself to be entranced by this hidden Chinese treasure. Wuyuan is famous for many things, and one of these is the green tea that they produce. We're on our way to another village when we come across a beautiful tea plantation overrun by children picking tea. So I'm here on a glorious morning in Wuyuan County, where I've been dropped off at a small tea plantation. And you might be mistaken for thinking it's actually a children's playground, because a lot they're actually running away from me. I'm going to see if I can go and have a chat with the kids who are playing around. But hello. Every spring, the fresh tea is ready to be harvested. And before you scream child labour laws in horror, relax. Remember, these kids are on a field trip. They've just explained to me that actually they've come here for fun, but it's also a school exercise, so it's like a field trip to come here and pick tea. They said they're having fun, but they think they're going to be a bit tired by the time they have to leave at about 2 or 3 o'clock. So I might try and give them a hand anyway. Personally, I think it's a great idea. A few hours in the sun, picking tea, and feeling a million miles from the classroom. You can also catch up with your friends, and especially try to avoid some pesky TV presenters. All the kids love me, yay! Anyway, it's time to go village hopping once again. Next destination, Cexi. Well, I'm here in the sleepy village of Cexi, and I say sleepy, normally speaking it is, but at the weekends it's overrun by tourists who come here from the surrounding region to come and check out what's fun in this village. From the great outdoors to traditional Chinese villages, Cexi is definitely one of the must-see sights in Wuyuan. You pay your 20 RMB fee at the gate, and you can stroll into anywhere within the village. Try out as many houses as possible, and you'll be greeted with something new in each one. I reckon it's time to explore. Food, glorious food. However, I do think it would be a bit off to start munching away when I haven't even visited any of the houses yet. But there is more food to come, I promise. I take my chances in this place, which could almost be a room from a museum. Except that here, the owner will eagerly show you his prized possessions and go to great lengths to explain them in detail. Top of that list is his collection of the 8 mighty masters made out of porcelain. You'll have to fork out another 2 RMB to see these, as they are preserved antiques. To give you an idea, Cexi is slightly less crowded than Xiaolikeng, which you might remember from the last episode. Do expect crowds, however, as Wuyuan's name is famous around China. Therefore, people from all over the country tend to flood the sleepy county at weekends and during public holidays. Masters accepted, a lot of the things on display are for sale. They They may not all be ancient relics, but with a touch of tradition, they make for perfect souvenirs. I take a good snoop around so as not to miss anything in this mini museum. Many of the villages in Wuyuan actually have set routes for you to follow, so don't worry if you get lost. There are normally signposts around to point you in the right direction. If that isn't your cup of tea, you can stroll around and go into any open houses and see how different each one is. That's my technique, and brings me to another intriguing find. I'm fascinated by something our local guide tells us. She explains that this house is special because it has the same character, shou, meaning longevity, written in 100 different ways around the house. Try and find all 100. It's not that easy. There are many little dumpling dealers to be found, and I was intrigued. Plus, I was a little peckish by now. Okay, so I've been attracted to... I'm used to white jiaozi, but here we actually have green jiaozi, so it's sort of taken my fancy. I'm going to give it a go. It's got luobo in it, which is a type of a vegetable, I think. Luobo is a type of carrot. Pretty good, check it out. Anyway, I'll have this one. Settling into Wuyuan life. Plus, Chinese babies are arguably the cutest in the world. But maybe I'm just being a tiny little bit biased. The interesting thing about Cixi is that in fact it's more than just aesthetically pleasing. This whole village is an open museum, and by that I mean that anybody can come in to any of the houses at any point in time. That basically means that the whole village is geared towards tourism, and you can find tourist guides as young as 5 years old showing you around the streets that they know best. Here in Wuyuan, days of mowing the lawn or taking out the garbage to earn a bit of pocket money are long gone. Nope. In these entrepreneurial times, the kids of the village earn their weekend money by showing around tourists, delivering interesting anecdotes, citing facts, or showing you the best spots, whilst generally being top-notch tour guides. You may find it a bit strange being lectured by an 8-year-old, but if anything, it's extremely refreshing to see the depth of knowledge, as well as the pride which the kids of the village take in showing off their hometown. The price for one of these little tour guides is around 20 RMB, just cheaper than their adult counterparts. Remember, these kids are all from the village. This cute little bundle of energy is a show in himself, and in a way exemplifies the ties between local tourism and daily life. The locals are used to mixing the two. So the child is reciting a segment from a famous Chinese ancient poem where the protagonist is expressing his sadness at the departure of his friends. The atmosphere of the house is fitting for the delivery of the poem, as you can almost touch the tradition in the air. Every house has a history and a different story to tell. There are around 100 homes in this village, so if you're into studying Chinese Hui architecture, then this is as good a place as any to visit. Crowds come and go, but if you've been brushing up on your Mandarin, you'll be able to eavesdrop onto a free explanation of the house from the owner. Once the crowd has scattered, the owner and house return to their tranquil state. I'm not going to be the one to disturb it again. Lose yourself in the narrow alleyways. Try opening doors, because if it opens, then you're allowed to visit whatever is inside. Visiting the village in this way can help you uncover some more quiet spots away from the standard tour guide routes. This little fella is obviously so used to people coming in and out, he doesn't remotely register or care to register my arrival. What a wonderfully friendly and irresponsible dog. Can't really see him being able to guard much. With so many things to see there, you might want to stay overnight, and sushi is totally catered for in terms of tourist facilities. Expect the prices here to be slightly higher though than the family hotels for food and accommodation, as sushi is one of the most prominent tourist spots in Wuyuan. One of our tour guides is adamant that genuine rural life can be experienced at her remote village, so we head there next. And in all honesty, she's not wrong. Above all, it's just so peaceful. You couldn't feel further removed from the hustle and bustle of the big cities. Now, I can't really give you exact directions to the village of Shimen, but I do know it's near the moon-shaped bay. Not much help, really. Now, don't be mistaken, we are still in Wuyuan County, but this really does, this whole forest area reminds me of forests that I've been to in Europe, and it's quite impressive to be out here in sort of mild weather, but better not spend too long before I get lost and you never hear from me again, so I'm going to go and find the tour guide. Salut! In the majority of the foreign guidebooks, you'll find that there are only a few lines on Wuyuan County, and they tend to direct you to the profound villages like Cexi, Xiaolikeng, Xiaoqi, etc., etc. But much of the charm of touring Wuyuan is to lose yourself scouring the county for new villages to visit or even chance upon. They definitely won't be as tourist orientated. You'll get to witness people going about their daily lives in new and interesting settings. Many of the houses here are intriguing in the way that tradition and modernity sit quite literally side by side. You have classic ornaments and paintings which are poised beside televisions, and life goes on, undisturbed. Villages like this might not have many or even any facilities for tourists, so your best bet is to let your tour guide help you. In many ways, this is the great thing about travelling blindfolded, as I like to think of it. If you're lucky, you'll encounter something strange and different like we did. You'll find the architecture is consistent throughout Wuyuan County, and even the most remote villages will have traces of Huizhou-style houses. However, that doesn't mean there isn't a little space for some upgrading. As we find out when we are welcomed into a modern, renovated house nestled among traditional rural homes. It's another little Wuyuan surprise. It's surreal to say the least. This reminds me a bit of the renovated hutongs in Beijing, with classic courtyard home architecture, and then 5-star modern refurbishments on the inside. In some ways, it's the best of both worlds. The outside of the house certainly still has traces of this architecture. Renovation for this 4-storey building set the family back 200,000 renminbi, or the price of a stone. But don't worry if you have no idea what I'm talking about. All will become clear soon. Well, I've made it quite clear that a tour guide is not indispensable, but certainly very useful if you're touring Wuyuan County. I would also recommend hiring your own minibus, as most spots tend to be around 3 hours from the county capital, but dispersed around. Well, inevitably we were hit with a bit of solid British weather, also known as annoyingly drizzly rain. There is not much singing in the rain going on here.
Most people don't really like the rain, and I'm one of those people, except that I happen to be sat on what it could only be described as one of the greatest inventions of all time. Forget sliced bread, forget cars and computers. I'm sat on a heated chair, or a bum warmer, as I like to call it. So I'm extremely relaxed, but why don't you guys come over here a sec? Come over. I'm feeling far too relaxed, but there's so many things that you're not going to want to miss on this journey. Go and look for yourself.
Coming in all shapes and sizes, as well as varying quite drastically in price, the ink tablet symbolises the town of Yanshan. It lies in the northeast of Wuyuan County and is the home of the quality stones that make up these precious goods.
Hey, 你好。
你好。
这个是
声音，不是这个好。你像这个声音。
Okay. Alright, so he's explaining that how he chooses which stone is going to be turned into an ink tablet is through the sound. So he listens out for the density, and he's saying that this one is good. So, ladies and gentlemen, and 这个好，这个不好。He's saying that one's bad. So let's give it the test. Okay, do you hear that? Alright, that's clear. That's clear. This one's mine.
This might look like your typical living room, but the whole village is in the ink tablet business, so it's no surprise to see the entire place filled with the polished stones ready to be turned into ink tablets. Like a lot of houses in Wuyuan, it's a typical life and work layout, the two seemingly becoming one in places like this. Our friend put so much care into his stones, it's no surprise that Yanshan is so renowned for its ink tablet. Some of the rarer, more expensive stones are never turned into ink tablets, but are simply kept as treasured ornaments. The 4-storey house we just visited is the same value to renovate as the priciest stone in here, which is valued at 200,000 RMB. New house or polished stone? It's a tough choice. Of course, a lot do get turned into ink tablets, and the process is slow and intricate. This is reflected in the overall price. They're coming straight to the town of Yanshan. You will be more likely to pick up a bargain. This little village is becoming more and more developed thanks to its burgeoning ink tablet business. Therefore, you will increasingly find accommodation here in the shape of family hotels. They remind me of local British bread and breakfasts for those of you who have ever been to the UK.
So that is the intricate process of making an ink tablet. And this one's going to be ready to go up into the shop any time now.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Right, so it's back to what I love best, cooking and food.
Our chefs for the day. Without a doubt, one of the things I love the most about travelling is the experience of tasting new food wherever you go. And I'm here in the Lion's Den about to check out some of the food that the chefs are about to cook for us. But the great thing is they've just got fresh vegetables. Everything here is organic. So they're cooking with fresh vegetables, and I actually can't wait to taste it. Oh, it's going to taste good. Yeah. Oh man, that actually smells really good. Kind of there's steaming stuff in here. I'm afraid it's just going to be me that's going to be enjoying that food, I'm afraid.
This is hutsai, and the taste is very smooth thanks to a combination of flour and Chinese butter. It's actually the first time that I've seen vegetables cooked in this way. There's a diversity of foods everywhere in Wuyuan. It's a great taste at an even greater price. Definitely won't be like any Chinese food you will have had tasted abroad. To me, the food tour in itself is worth it alone. Now, I'm not going to call it a gastronomical haven filled with Michelin-starred chefs. But if you're looking for something a little different that you won't have tried before, eat your way around Wuyuan County.
I see. Ladder. Ladder. 喜欢辣的。喜欢辣。我也喜欢。我真的喜欢辣。She loves spicy stuff. Brilliant. As do I. I love spicy stuff. How good does all of this look? Now, you can actually see what we've got here: a bit of fish, fried fish, organic vegetables, and this is one of my favourite things: chicken in a type of soup. The funny thing about this chicken is that actually the chickens around here are not kept in captivity. They're just allowed to roam free. They feed off things that people give them and stuff. But anyway, I'm too hungry to really introduce anymore. So, go on, food time, food.
That entire feast will set you back less than 200 kwai.
Come on, eat. Let's go.
The flowers attracted me to Wuyuan, in a very manly way, of course. But I had an incredible one-week trip. Because Wuyuan really is a hidden gem. And this may be reflected in the lack of foreigners. But if you're looking for fresh air, spectacular scenery, and great food, then look no further.
Well, I think it's quite fitting that we should be finishing our programme here today in the middle of a rapeseed flower field, where we've watched the flowers bloom whilst we've been here, but they're now very quickly
withering away. Soon, the seeds will be turned into canola oil, seed oil, which is the same thing, and animal feed, and even biodiesel. Anyway, I'm Mark Edwards, and I really hope you've enjoyed watching our little adventure around Wu Yuan County. I'll see you very soon on another episode of Travelogue.